Hello and welcome to Mechanical Keyboards Live. Actually, I did that too soon. Now I'm on camera. Hi and welcome to Mechanical Keyboards Live. I'm your host, skiwithpete. What is going on, guys? Lots of people up in the house. Dane Carter is here. Mange HD is here. Steffi, Euphorical, Jesper Lundqvist, Anchorbait. What is going on, everybody? Steffi, did I catch everybody that time? I think I did. I think so. If I didn't, say what's up. I'll give you a shout out. Wearing my Ski with Pete cap again today. Of course, as always, we are in full 4K. I know the dudes already were talking about liking the stream, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. How we doing? 19 watching with 8 likes. It's a good start for sure. Definitely a good start. For those of you who are new, don't forget to say hello. It's always awesome to have new people on the stream, so do say what's up. Paolo Umali is here. What's going on? Dr. Doomapple is in the house. Scrubmeister. Dane Carter, did I already say what's up? What is going on, everybody? Okay, so the first... I said about the 4K thing. I said about the like thing. I am going to do it today just because I can. 4K. Rob R, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Okay, the very first thing, I know some of you guys hate that explosion-y thing. It took me forever to make the damn thing, and I'm just so proud of it. You just gotta let me flex it every once in a while. Just be cool. Just be cool. Okay. First bit of news, as you may have seen yesterday with JB's unsuccessful time TKL stream, we have not moved. No movie. The plan was to get a new place with a bigger streaming area, and so far that has not worked out. There was, just so you guys know, in the process of buying a house, one of the parts is that you need a title done. We had an inspection done, and there were some problems or inconsistencies, we'll say. So we need to go through more stuff. David Lalando is here, and Mr. Keebs, welcome. Atari Zero is also here. Atari, I still haven't finished watching your stream. That's just because I'm watching too much Olympics. But it was an awesome stream. The first 25 minutes or so that Steph and I watched, it was definitely awesome. If you guys haven't already, you should go check out Atari Zero's channel. That guy's cool as hell. And he's also a mod here, which is awesome. Pleased to hear the volume is decreased a little. Yeah, I decreased the volume on the explosion quite a bit. Actually, it's probably around 50% of what it was. But of course, it doesn't smash your ears out. I could still lower it. I've got some new plans for new camera views, which I have not yet implemented. I'll be getting to that soon. Part of the reason I haven't gotten to that soon, that I haven't gotten to it yet, is that I assumed that I would be moving and I would be creating a whole new camera setup with all new views and whatnot. But we haven't moved yet. I thought I was going to move last week, and then I thought I was going to move this week. And then I thought I was going to move next week, but I'm still not moved. It's not looking very likely in the very near future. So we continue on from where we've been. Things at 1UP headquarters are getting all the more cluttered, and because we expected to move, we bought in a whole bunch of new stock and new systems and new stuff, and nope, we're still here. So we are drowning in, amongst the many things, Zealios and Xylants. So I thought what I'd do is I would do a build today with a bunch of the Zealios. We'll get to those builds in just another second, but I've been talking for a while. Let me say what's up to a couple more people. Rob R is up in the house. He says, nah, the Xylants are super expensive. Wish I could have gotten them at the GB pricing. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's one of those things. Who else is here? Michael J is here. What's going on, Michael J? So what I'm doing right now, I'm just clipping my Zealios, and the reason I'm clipping the PCB stabilizers off of them. Not that you need to, but I like to because it makes my build easier. And I started doing that well before the stream started, just so I could get a head start and we wouldn't have to spend too long doing it. I've got about 185 switches here on the left. I'm going to clip about 182 of them. I'm, about over a third, almost a halfway there. Cool. What's going on with you guys, though? Do let us know in the comment section. It's not the comment section, though, is it? Because most of you guys are here on the live chat. Do say what's up in the live chat. DVZN Media is here. What is going on, man? One of my favorite YouTubers right here. I'm just going to... bro, I'm just going to mod you up. DVZN Media is... we did a giveaway with DVZN not long ago. Actually, it was a while ago now. It was for some keyboard stuff. But he has continued to produce the quality content week after week after week. I'm super glad you're here. And while you're here, just because of a conversation that he and I were having not too long ago, check out my... Have you seen this before? The Ski with Pete hat? Oh, wait, I went the wrong way. It's this way. Ski with Pete. Ski with Pete. I rock the Ski with Pete hat on the channel. I'd love to get a 1UP logo put here for the 1UP thing. But anyways, that's a crazy long story. I'll save for another time. Rob R says, yeah, it's one of those things, Pete. I wanted them for my next build, so I sucked up and bought them. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm not including them on this build, but I will for my own build in the future. So we're only a few minutes into the stream, and I've already pumped two other people's channels, DVZN and Atari Zero's channels. You should go give them a like, a subscribe. Do you give people's channels a like? I don't know actually if you do. Maybe you just give them a subscribe. You should totally give them a subscribe. But also, if you guys are new here, don't forget to give this channel a like and subscribe. It's not a channel, it's a show. Please do press the like button. The more likes we get, the more people get to blah blah blah, and then it grows and blah blah blah, and then you know the drill. You know the drill. If you haven't already, press subscribe. Also, just a shout out because Dane Carter's in the house. And let's be honest, Dane Carter has contributed quite a bit to this. This is the $450 target that we're aiming for. Can you guys see that over there? $450 is the target for a 360 cam, so you guys can see around 1UP HQ. And we're at $243 of that target, so we're just a little over halfway there. Thank you again to everybody who has contributed to that. I know it's definitely more than just Dane Carter, but I do shout him out because that guy's crazy. Mr. Keebs says, can someone shed some light on Zealio's 62, 65, 67 decision points? Sure, it's all down to personal preference. I can tell you, because we sell them, that the 67 gram Zealios outsell everything else at a rate of 3 to 1. They're also my favorite. Is there a correlation between... Is there a correlation between the fact that I like them and that we sell them 3 to 1? Probably not. I love to think that my influence, pushes people in certain directions. No, I think that the 67 grams, for a lot of people, have the perfect point of tactility and usability, and they are where it's at. But the decision point really is about what feels best for you, so don't let mine or other people's decisions influence you. What you should do is check them out on your own and then make a decision. 62 gram, I also like as well. The 65 gram, I'll be honest with you, I think that I'm either using a 67 or a 62, depending on the keyboard that I'm using, depending on the size of the keycaps that I'm using. So I tend not to build a 65. Having said that, my keyboard just off to the side of the screen here, the one that I control the streaming station with, is a 65 gram. So I just don't do a lot of typing at the streaming station, though. When I do a lot of typing, I prefer the 67 grams. long-winded about, you should probably try them for yourself and see which one you like. DVZN Media says, I've heard that Zealios are the best. Have to try them, but want to get that Filio. You know what I'm talking about. That Filio. They're just like Cherry MX Clears, except that they're available in customized weights, and they're super smooth, so they feel nice and round rather than scratchy and stiff. Mange HT says, let's promote everybody at Ski with Pete. Also, when you're at it, just tell us you are the owner of 1UpKeyboards again. I mean, the reason that I keep talking about being the owner of 1UpKeyboards, so everybody knows. And I feel like I need to tell all you guys these, because people accuse me of acting crazy, and I want you to know that I'm not just acting crazy. The reason that I tell you that I'm the owner of 1UpKeyboards is also for regulations in certain countries. Having lived in the UK, I can tell you that if in the United Kingdom you're not super clear about the fact that you are doing like paid or promoted content or whatever, and this isn't paid or maybe it is promoted. It's not paid because I'm not paying myself to do it, but I want you to know that I talk about 1upkeyboards.com, 1upkeyboards.com, because I'm the owner of it, not because of anything else. Also, they have all this stuff in stock that I'm building today, but that's the only other reason. I also ask for likes all the time to the level of nausea, but I do it because the more likes the show gets, the more the algorithm puts it on other people's pages, so the more people come to join, so the more people subscribe, and then the grow. So it's not just me being crazy with a crazy repetitive loop happening in my head, asking people to like the show all the time. It's because it derives results. And you can tell every time I ask for likes, the number of likes goes up because people forget. I mean, let's be honest. You're sat there, you're enjoying the stream. There's a crazy dude with an awesome hat, clipping small bits of plastic off of other small bits of plastic. Sometimes you forget that that's what you're supposed to do. Also, press subscribe. I'm going to press this. I've got a subscribe button here. I don't press it very often. Hold on. Is this my subscribe button? No, that's not my subscribe button. Is this my subscribe button? This is my subscribe button. For those of you who don't already know, I'm at 29,863, which puts me 137. Yeah, 137 away from hitting the 30K mark. If you haven't already pressed subscribe, please do. It would be awesome. I'm just going to leave this screen up for a second, just in case somebody does press subscribe. We'll see it in real time that the number will go up. Okay then, let's move on to the other camera. Don't forget to press like and press subscribe. Maybe there's no new people here. I don't know. Okay, let's just look at this. I use Blues regularly. This is Scrubmeister. Sorry, Scrubmeister. It's been a while since you posted this, and I haven't replied. I use Blues regularly, but want more resistance, and I would probably switch to greens. I'm a bit worried about the strain, though. You ever use greens over a long period of time? I have not. Steph likes Blues. I tried to get her to go to greens. She didn't like it. It wasn't like strain or anything. But she just didn't like it, so she pulled it out. I can't use it for any prolonged period of time because I can't use clicky switches at work because I would drive everybody mad. I drive everybody pretty mad at the moment. I'm going to try some Xylence for that, but that's why I don't use clickies. But I say that Harry B, who's a guy that I work with, Harry B has just got a TKL from 1UpKeyboards. He posted on Instagram stories last night or 2 nights ago about it. He's got greens. He's totally into it. But that's enough about Harry B. Zealios are less tactile than Ergo Clears, are smoother, and the biggest reason to get them is if you don't want to make Ergo Clears. That's an interesting point and something I really would like to test out. I don't know if I've actually tested that out, per se. Atari Zeros all in favor of the 67 grams. Yeah, they feel amazing. Yeah, they do. Maine says, same in Sweden, so I get that, but you are telling us too much to hate on RMK because of it. Hold on. Same in Sweden, so I get that, but it is good that you are telling this because you get too much hate on RMK because of it and feel that it is bullshit. Yeah, you're talking about me talking about 1upkeyboards.com and about the likes and the subscribe thing. Yeah, I know. It's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's the game. And I was thinking about doing, making more graphics that auto run so that you guys think, oh yeah, I'm supposed to press like, or, things that take over the screen every once in a while. But the truth is, you got to do it. And I've been to the YouTube space here in New York City for courses on how to be a better YouTuber. And they say out loud, you got to remind your audience to do those things. So, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I get porked for it. But I'm going to do it all the same. All right. I have to decide between the plank and the Nui Mini Feels Bad Man. I'm currently using a plank for my feet to change cameras. You'll notice that both my hands are on screen and that I can change cameras using my feet. Here's my everything cam. I'm going to add an everything cam, I think, to the floor so you can see my plank and stuff. I actually have two of them now because my other one is the one where I get to press the mute button. And I've got a subscribe button. I don't even know what that does anymore. Oh, it's press subscribe. It's one of those. Did it go down? Kolek94 says I went and unsubbed. Yeah. Yeah, well done, guys. Well done. You've unsubscribed. You've unsubscribed from my channel successfully. We're down. We now need 2 more people than we needed before. Let's see if we can get somebody to subscribe while we're doing this. I'm still clipping. I'm still clipping here. Still hanging out, still clipping. Still clipping. Come on, somebody. The truth is there's a delay of 20 seconds. So actually, I'm 20 seconds into the future from you guys. You're just seeing this pop up on screen now. And of course, you're all pressing subscribe who haven't. There we go. There's 1 subscribe. Come on, let's see if we got another one in us. Still waiting for that 4K face cam. Not full 4K without it. Wait a sec. You want to see full 4K face cam? Here. This is my face in full 4K. Is this what you wanted? This is full 4K. That's full 4K. This one over here, this is not 4K. This is 1080p. But 1080p, that is 1080p. Like, it's a quarter of the screen, and I've just cut it round. But that is my face in 1080p. But this is 4K. Boom! 4K! DVZN Media says, what 4K cameras are you using, Pete? Such a good question, dude. So, I've got my overhead camera. Do you want me to do another quick tour? I did a quick tour, like, 3 weeks ago when I thought I was dismantling this space, and I totally ended up not dismantling it because we didn't move. But let me do a quick tour here. I'm just gonna put this down. All right. So first, I'm gonna start with the everything. All right. So everything, we've got the 4K overhead. That's this one up here. We got the 4K selfie. That's right there. Selfie chat is this one here. We've got the solder cam, which is everybody's favorite, of course. Solder cam is how you can see the close-up of the solder. And then I've got 4K action cam, which is this one in the bottom left right here where my finger is. And the 4K action cam actually slides left to right. But what I can do is if I just go to the action cam, actually I'm going to do action plus selfie. I'm just going to take this off here real quick and just show you around from my perspective. It just takes a second. I Velcro it on. Just so it doesn't wiggle around and stuff. But you ready? I'm very sorry. I'm going to do my best to keep it smooth as hell. This is me trying to be smooth as hell. Okay, I'm moving back. You can see I'm moving back. And I'm going to tip up a little bit. And you're going to see right here. Somebody just subscribed. I can't read your name because it's too small on my screen. But it looks like Jack. What's up, Jack? Okay, first off, there's my selfie cam. That is the Logitech C920. Look, that's that's that camera. Okay, that's the one that's looking at my head. The 4K camera that also looks at my head. You can see this is you guys. This is where I look at you guys. This is your chat window. This is my preview window here. And then up from there is OBS and all my OBS stuff. But you can see my OBS is actually super zoomed in. I use that for focus because it's a 4K camera overhead. Okay, coming back down here and moving more to the right, more to the right, more to the right. There is my 4K selfie chat, and that is a Logitech Brio 4K. You notice it's upside down, so I flip the camera around. But when I do that 4K thing, that's the 4K thing. You really can see my face in 4K. Of course, right here you can see my soldering iron, and my dad machined out this aluminum extension to put the 4K Logitech Brio. So this is a 4K Logitech Brio. This is a 4K Logitech Brio. This is a Logitech C920, but actually the one in my hand is also a Logitech Brio. So you can see I've got 3 Brios 4K, plus a C920, which is 1080p. And I'm using those 3 in conjunction. Okay, now one more is straight up, 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 up. That is my big overhead camera. My big overhead camera is a Panasonic FZ1000, and the FZ1000 is linked into the computer using the Epiphan 4K. This picture up here, by the way, that one right there, my brother painted that. My brother Mark painted that for me. Keep that right by my workstation. All right, and then I want to go to the left here. I want to go to the left. You can see this is actually camera 2, which isn't currently turned on. And camera 2 has its own microphone, which is that the Rode mic there. That Rode mic. That Rode mic is actually just for camera 2. And then I've got another mic, which is this one, the Audio Technica AT2020. Okay, I'm going to move back so you can see the multi-screens. So on the left here, I've got my statistics. These stats are coming in live about you guys, what resolutions you're watching in. I keep that going. This is my FZ1000 control, so I can change the zoom and all that. Up top here, you can see super chats. There's no super chats yet today, but of course, when I get a super chat, I hit you guys straight up and I read out your messages and all that. Okay, coming back down a little bit, coming back down. All right, I just want to show off some of the other stuff. Here's that keyboard I was showing off earlier. That's my keyboard for dealing with you guys, and I got a number pad up there that's not currently plugged in, and I got that Kensington wheel, what's it called, trackball. You know what I'm talking about. Here's the thing that you see I side mounted this roller. It's pretty cool. That's for the action cam that I'm holding in my hand right now. Okay, moving back still, moving back still. This is where the those little macros are. So my 4K explosion. I'm gonna go right in here. I don't know, because it's backlit, I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see of it. My 4K explosion is there. My thumbs up, my subscribe button, they're all actually there. Okay, and then one more down. I'm just going to show that's my Focusrite. That's the audio capture device. And then to the left here on the floor, I know it's super messy. These are my 2 Epiphan devices. Sorry, pointing at it with my toe, which isn't very cool, but those are my 2 Epiphan devices that capture stuff and put it into the computer, which is this HP Envy. And I also have this other Epiphan device, which is just for camera 2. That's a standalone device. Panzer Bjorn says, has camera 2 ever been on during a stream? It has a couple of times, but I've taken it off recently. Sorry, a bit of a cough. And I know I'm holding you guys so you can feel it moving. Okay, one more thing. I know it's kind of messy and crazy down here, but one more thing I just wanted to show you. This is my foot controller, and I'm just gonna like press action cam, and then there you go, action cam. So that's how I control the stream during the thing. If I switch to overhead just for a quick second so you can see that. And cough and shake the camera, and then switch back to action, and then action plus selfie. So that's how I control it. Also, you notice it's February here in New York, but I'm wearing shorts because I think it's cool to rock shorts. And I got Hobbit feet. I totally got Hobbit feet. Okay, and I'm just gonna go a little wider here so you can see. This is like the totality view of my setup. You can see I've got the 2 monitors. Oh, I'm gonna take off the selfie part of it. Sorry, it's gonna shake for a second while I do that with my foot. I just want you to see the totality of my view here, which is you guys on the screen on the right, and then all my statistics and stuff on the left. So I've got the 2 monitors. Between that, I've got my drawers. You can see the camera. Cool, that gives you a pretty good idea of what I'm up against. My desk is exactly 30 inches wide, as you can see. I got the measuring tape there, which helps me identify those sorts of things. This I thought is really cool. I haven't used it a lot. It helps me add my glory shots to everything. The thing, I'm going to switch back. Oh, just before I do, I just want you guys to see that shelf over there is 1UpKeyboards. This shelf over here, also 1UpKeyboards. The other side, I'm just going slow, but that's also 1UpKeyboard stuff. And then, of course, all the switches and stuff. And you can see some of the space. There's our, you'll see over there, there's our cable table. It's got all the cable bits and pieces. All right, cool. And you can see some of the lighting setup that I've got there. That's a light there. You know, more lights up. And mostly just light the ceiling above the cameras. And then I've got that door right there, and there's a screen over the door. And that door lets me solder in this space. At skiwithpete, could you please show how the cameras and mics are mounted? I can. I'm just going to switch you to overhead so I can stand up and before I do that. So you can see here, I'm sorry, it's a little jerky. You can see here I've got the auto pull. This is a Manfrotto auto pull. And then coming off of that, I've got the Maffer clamp. And then off of the Maffer clamp, I've got these, this is a Manfrotto arm. And you can see the Manfrotto arm then comes down and then mounts directly to the camera. I say mounts directly to the camera. I actually use a Manfrotto quick release device here. Just to give you guys an idea of the sort of investment, these auto pulls cost about $200. The clamps are about $40. This arm is about $80. These clamps are about $25, and then this camera is about $700. So there's a serious amount of investment that goes into it. And of course, this is just one of the cameras. If you look down here at my mic is set up in a very, very similar way. I've got the auto pull. I've got the Maffer clamp. The Maffer clamp leads to the arm. The arm juts up and juts out. And then as it jumps out, I've attached it to the microphone stand. That's another Manfrotto clamp. You can see that's basically what I use throughout. There's another one. There's another one for camera 2, Maffer clamp, Manfrotto arm. Same thing, quick release device underneath it. So I would say I'm just gonna put that on. Well, that's a pretty long-winded tour of what we got going on here. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to press subscribe. But just so you know,
I don't know that.
Shh, Alexa. Just so you know, it's a very expensive setup, but it wasn't bought all at once. It was bought over time. I started, if you guys remember years ago how I started, I just had the one camera here was a low resolution 640 by 480 camera, and it was just a square. And it was only taking up 640 by 480, and that was on a 1080p. Actually, I didn't even start with. I started with just one overhead, and it was just a 1080p camera. I didn't even have a selfie cam. I added the selfie cam, which was like a $25 640 480 camera. It was super cheap. And then over time, I got a 720p camera to put my face on, and then I added that webcam. That video camera that's the video camera that's off to the side there, the Sony camera, which had zoom. That was a big revolution for me. I added that as a 1080p camera, and I started with, what was it called? An Elgato card. Started with an Elgato card, and that used so much CPU, and I was doing this all through my MacBook. And then I bought a separate just streaming stand, and then I bought a, Then I bought my first action cam, and then action cam was cool, but I was like, you know what? People want to see me solder real up close. And I mounted another camera. I bought another one again through contributions from you guys. Got I think a $120 donation once on my PayPal, and I used that straight away to buy another C920, and then strap that to the solder iron, and off we went. And that's really what it is. It's just like a continued effort to continue to buy stuff and to continue to progress and continue to offer the latest. Some of the stuff that I have around is pretty gnarly, actually. I don't know where it is right now. Let me just look. I know I've showed this off before, but I've got this too, which is super cool. This is the Fuji 3D camera. You can see it's got the two views there. The 3D camera, I would love to do some 3D stuff for you guys. It's just pretty gnarly to do it is all. But 3D would be rad, and you guys would be able to see stuff like you've never seen before. But I'd love to just add 3D with a couple of GoPros as well. Again, if I had my way, I'd have about $10,000 to continue to invest in this setup. And like a guy like Linus Tech Tips, I think he's doing great content, and the speed at which he's able to put out the content and all that. But I really wish he was up in the game too, so that we could get better views of stuff. And I think that's my future, really, is to provide better views and better insights. I mean, yeah, like the 3D stuff. If you put the 3D stuff into like a Google Cardboard, which you can get for like nothing. If you put it into Google Cardboard, then you guys would see something you'd never seen before. So that would be pretty cool. You guys have been talking for a while, and I have not been responding at all. Let's just see. Panzer Bjorn said something, especially the sliding cam. Don't know what it was. Panzer Bjorn says, super interested. Oh, were you, man? Thanks. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like... and then... Pete, if you had a 3D printer, you could design and print all those clamps. Yeah, Dane, in a sense I could. In another sense, this equipment with $1,000 camera and stuff, I don't know if I'd trust it to plastic. Those clamps and everything I use is like, it's mostly all metal. And I mean, the clamp, the squeezing part might be plastic on some of the arms, but most everything else is metal. Anyways, that's the sort of stuff that's coming out from the channel. Atari Zero is saying that he's having some issues. Panzer Bjorn says, oh, I mean, at skiwithpete is definitely a better overall Canadian than Linus. Oh, that's the sweetest thing anybody said to me today.
Yeah.
This week, maybe. I really hope, and I don't know if DVZN got to stick around for that tour around my studio, but DVZN, I'd love to see your setup if you're still around. I'd love to see what you've got around the shop. Again, to me, people like DVZN and Atari Zero are real up and comers. They're going places, and it's one thing. I know in the start of your stream you referenced my stream, but I am doing my stream my way because of the constraints that are put on me. And as you guys, well, DVZN is so much more professional than I am anyways, but Atari, as you continue to progress, you're going to find your own voice, your own method for doing this. DVZN, I think he might be a professional streamer, music producer outside of the YouTubing stuff that he does, because his presentation is so slick and his camera work is so professional that I have to believe that he's for real. He's just got a small audience for now. It's not that small either. It's grown pretty substantially over the last little while. Nate JHD says, Pete is the best Canadian though because he knows everything about keyboards A. Yep. Yeah, I'm still here. I even sent you a message on Twitter about something I saw. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah, you're behind me, so you're probably going to admit that you're a professional something. And I want you guys to know, too, that I had help in my setup. I'm friends with a professional photographer who told me about the lighting setup that I should use. And he's the one who made me choose these CFLs and light the ceiling instead of directly light the surface. And I'm also lucky to have JB1830, who is probably one of the most successful social media people in the world, even though he doesn't ever talk about it. He also has helped this setup grow and develop, and he's a pretty special dude. Cool. Atari said thanks. No problem, man. I mean, for real. It's so cool to watch you do this. Jack Tadling says, last major question. Anyone have a 40%? How easy are they to carry around? Thanks for the advice, everyone. How many 40% should I pull out to show them then? Oh, shit. Did we put them all away in boxes? Because we thought we were going to move. We might have put them mostly away in boxes.
Yeah, they'll be in like one of those blue boxes probably.
Not going to answer your question.
2 down. How many do you have? What was the question?
What? Anyone have a 40%? How easy are they to carry around? Here, well, I got this one, which is my plank that I use with my feet. But how easy is it to carry around? Well, I use 2 U's on it, but it's pretty much... Here, hold on. Can you see my pocket? Yeah, I don't know if you can see my pocket, but it would fit in my pocket. DVZN just admitted to it. Yes, I do videography, photography as well. Mainly music videos, weddings, etc. Knew it, man. You're just too pro and too slick to not be a pro. Here's a JD40. Also, same thing. Here, should I stuff it in my pocket? This one's a brick, though. Like, this would weigh your trousers down. This one. This is with the old steel plates. This is my Control-Alt one. Our new ones, like, if you got a JD40 carbon fiber, you could totally wear it in your trousers. Put it in your back pocket and whatever. Cool, can you put that back? Also, by the way, this white case, I've had it for like 4 years now. It's finally starting to get cool. Look, it's starting to get dirty and stuff. Finally starting to get cool. Hey JT, he did, but he did not lube stabs for most of his times on stream. At skiwithpete to help you, so I guess you can see better at lubing stabs. I will lube stabs. I'm gonna get to the stabilizers later. For now, I'm just chit-chatting and clipping stuff and whatnot. Lubing is so tedious, yeah. Alex Sure is in the house. What's going on, Alex? Yeah, I used to, when I lived in London, I cycled every day, everywhere. And so that was the thinking behind the carbon fiber 40% that we do, was that it would be an ultralight that you could carry in your backpack on commutes while you were cycling. So that was the thinking that went behind it. I wish they had a picture of the cyan on the website. What cyan? What? What are you saying? We have cyan keycaps. Is that what you're talking about? Atari Zero, I feel you, man. It is tough to get. Yeah, that is a tough thing. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm lucky that Steph is cool with me streaming as often as I do. Man, I've been clipping switches for days. Part of my problem too is I think I have like ADHD, because now that I've been talking about the streaming setup, I'm way more interested in the streaming setup than I am in clipping these things, and I just want to keep talking about streaming setups and what I have planned for the future. But at the same time, I don't want to share all that, because then I'm just going to change my mind and then do something slightly different. For those of you who've been here a while and haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. I know we're at 28 likes and 36 people here, so most of you have already smashed the like button. But again, it helps. And if you haven't already pressed subscribe, please press subscribe. We're on the drive towards... We got one more. We're on the drive towards 30,000. We're at 28,000. Sorry, 29,864. All right. All right. The real reason that everybody comes to my stream, though, is for the solder cam. Especially people who aren't that familiar with soldering. They say that the solder cam really helps and that they've understood a lot more about how soldering works and how easy it is. That's the comment I get most often. I didn't realize how easy soldering was until I saw it on your solder cam. It's just melting metal. Yeah, no kidding. But what's amazing is it's hard to find videos that are like that show you just how easy it is to do. Panzer Bjorn says 243 is such an odd number. Isn't it? It's just odd. 243. Like if it was 234 it would be better, but it's not. So could somebody throw in, I don't know, $102 and then it would be 345. Only teasing. I appreciate everybody who contributes to the channel, whether you do it on the stream or off the stream or via Patreon or not via Patreon or with super chats or with kind words or just with likes and subscribes. Thank you to everybody who contributes to the channel. And also, thank you to all of my mods. I never thank you guys enough. I never do it midstream. Thank you to all my mods. The mods are all community members who've been hanging around for a while. A lot of them hang out in our Discord chat. Don't forget to check out the Discord chat. The link to that is in the About section, which was renamed Video Description section and then renamed to a small arrow. But it's in the section below where you can find the information about today's stream and all the stuff that I'm using and all the tools that I have and all that fun stuff. $62 gram Zealio. Clip, clip, clip. Clip, clip, clip. To all of you guys out there who are messaging me on Discord or whatever, you're making my pocket vibrate like crazy. Notification of donation received. $7. Thank you very much. There's no message attached to it except that it's from Panzer Bjorn. At skiwithpete, you also have Bitcoin linked in the About section. I do indeed. I'm just going to add the $7 that I've just received from Panzer Bjorn. We're now at $250. We're just $200 short of the 360 camera. Thank you again, Panzerbjorn. If you have anything you want me to read out on stream, happy to do that. Leonidas Kraut says, Pete, how did you get into making keyboards? Leonidas, I will tell you that story in just 1 minute after I get through the rest of what everybody else has said. But I promise I will tell you that story. You have Bitcoin linked in the About section as well. I do have Bitcoin. It's pretty uncommon that people send me Bitcoin these days, but if you do, that is very welcome and greatly appreciated. Thank you. What do you think about the Box Navy switches? Geo, I have not tried them yet. How important is it to get good soldering iron, like shitty Radio Shack ones or an awesome one like skiwithpete has? I think it's really important. The FX888D is the one that I use. It's only $100. Like, I know you probably think like, oh my God, it's super expensive, but $100, you'll have it forever and it's super good. But also, a soldering iron company reached out to me with a low-cost soldering iron, and they're sending me one, and then we're gonna give 5 away on the channel. It's a low-cost one. It's under $30. It's a temperature control one, and I'm gonna test it out on the stream live. You can see exactly what I think about it when that happens, and also possibly win yourself one. It's a low-cost one. Do I think it's gonna be as good as the digitally controlled digital readout Hacko FX888D? No, but maybe I'll be wrong. How is the $370 TKL doing? The people at Micro Center have reduced the price greatly, but it's still not selling, so I have a feeling that their setup is not prepared for the mechanical keyboard enthusiast group. But you can go check that out. They are now selling below cost. So somebody in Columbus is going to end up with a pretty sweet keyboard for not very much money. And they keep dropping the price. If it was me, I would just wait because they're going to keep dropping it because they have a weird business model, and I no longer want to talk about that. Leonidas says, I'm a bit of a mech keyboard geek and I'm really interested in making my own. Awesome. 62 gram Zeal is the best weight, says Keyboard Builder. Yeah, it's a great weight. I have a couple keyboards with 62 grams. Yeah, you want at minimum variable temperature. Agreed. You don't want the cheap ones that you get from Radio Shack typically are just like, they just tell you the wattage of them, and that's not good. What was the question that you asked? How did I get into building keyboards? Panzerbjorn says, no problem, buddy. I missed this story, but how goes it with the new place? I see you're still in the Manhattan apartment. So there was a problem with the title. It doesn't match what's physically there, so it just means we have to go through more stuff, and the more stuff that we have to go through just takes more time. So we're still totally going to try to buy the place, but it's probably going to be a while. Keyboard Builder says, now with all the nice switches, I think Zeals are vastly overpriced. Man, I've heard a lot of people say that over the years, and I see that like Aliaz tries to make a variation on it, and I know, but if you combine a Zeal that's $1 with a Panda that's $1, you end up with a $2 switch, and that's better than everything else. So, I don't know, man. Keyboard Builder, how much are they charging for it now at Micro Center? I'd have to look it up, but it's not. It's dropped by over $100, even more now. But again, they don't have the audience that we have. That's the truth. They don't know what their audience. They're like a Best Buy. It's occurring to me more and more. They're just like a Best Buy, and keyboard nuts like us just don't. We just don't go there for that sort of stuff. If you get them sell in Yonkers, New York, I will drive about an hour. I'd buy your stuff. Alex, that was the plan at first, was to do it across country, but they decided to run a test in Columbus. And hey, why would you bother driving anywhere? Just order from the website. We'll send it right to you. Keyboard Builder says not talking about the alias, but the box switches. The box switches, there's no super tactile version. At least not that I'm aware of. The question that came in earlier was, how did I get into building keyboards? And so I thought I would take you guys on a little journey to explain how this all happened. And I'm going to start with the origins of the YouTube channel. So the origins of the YouTube channel was that I opened a YouTube channel after having been a ski instructor. That's why Ski with Pete. And I wanted to publish just a couple little videos that I thought were funny, ski videos. I just did these like compilations. I was really lucky. My wife, Stephanie, is also a former ski instructor, so we'd ski all these awesome places, and we'd bring the video camera with us, and Steph would film, and or I would film, and we'd create these little things that were kind of cool, and I wanted to post them somewhere. So I brought the camera with us, shot the videos, used iMovie, made a little edit, whatever, put them up on the YouTube channel, and nobody watched them appropriately. Nobody watched them, I'm sure, for a couple of reasons. Not that I could figure it out at the time, but I eventually removed them from the YouTube channel. I think there's only one ski video left, which is actually just one run. It's my favorite run of all time. Right. So I've got this YouTube channel. Then I moved to the UK, and I kind of don't do anything with the YouTube channel. I say I kind of don't do anything with the YouTube channel. One night, super late, I got Johnny Lee's, because we had a Wii, and I got Johnny Lee's software, and I made my 42-inch plasma into a touchscreen. And I was like, this is super cool. And anyways, it got a little bump. It got like a little bloop, people were watching it, and I was making about, what was it, like 22 cents a month off of this video that I'd made. But because it had enough views, I was able to monetize the channel, and I was able to, see, I told you it was a long-winded story. It's a long-winded story. Anyways, I made this video about turning my 42-inch plasma TV into a touchscreen using Johnny Lee's software, and it got a little bump. Then I was talking to after doing that, I was talking to my friend in England, and I was telling him that I was going on a trip to visit some friends and family in Dallas, Texas. And then we started talking about guns and gun control. And of course, Brits just don't get at all why there's guns or no gun control, or I suppose there is gun control, but it's like why there's so many guns in America. So anyways, I said, I got this camera on my, I got a camera. It does videos as well. Tell you what, I'll take a little video when I go to a gun store just so you can see what they look like. I bet you won't believe it. Anyways, I went into the gun store in Dallas, and it also, I filmed a little video. The guy explained a lot about the different guns that they have in the store, and how many they sell. And I mean, if you live in Texas, it'll be no surprise to you at all. However, if you live in the UK, like in London, as I did, my friends were all like, whoa, it's crazy. So anyways, I posted that on YouTube as well. And between that and my touchscreen video, I was making about 80 cents a month. 80 cents a month might not sound like very much, and it isn't. But the 80 cents a month was enough to tell me that, like, over time, this YouTube thing might be interesting, and maybe I should consider making more videos in the future. And I promptly did not. I promptly moved to New Zealand, and when I was in New Zealand, I got a Raspberry Pi and decided that I was going to build a lighting project. And the thing is, I was kind of always a little bit geeky, but I was never really that into computer programming. So I thought I should learn how to do some programming. And I thought the first thing I'm going to do, I had this idea for an alarm clock, and the alarm clock was going to pull information off the internet, and it was going to turn on lights and all this stuff. But I just was like, okay, I'm just going to start with a really narrow part of the project. I'm just going to turn on a light. And so I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a relay, a Raspberry Pi and a relay. And I'm just going to get the Raspberry Pi to turn on the relay, turn it on and off in a sequenced order. And so I'm describing this project to this guy who sits beside me at work, like, and I'm saying, okay, eventually I'm going to build an alarm clock, but for right now, this short-term thing, I want to build a lighting sequence for my new house's driveway. And it's going to light up the driveway as I drive up. So it like switches on, tick, 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 up the driveway. And he's like, Pete, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got this little computer. And he's like, I know what a computer is. And I'm like, and I got this little relay. And he's like, you've already lost me. And I'm like, it's a little box of little switches. And they turn on in sequence according to the Raspberry Pi, telling it to do it. And he's like, you lost me. So I'm like, no problem. Tell you what, I'm going to film it. I got a YouTube channel. And he's like, whoa, you got a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, but nobody watches it. Don't worry. But look, I'll just film it and I'll put it on there and then you can take a look. Anyways, I filmed it. Let's say I filmed it on a Thursday night, and then he wasn't at work on Friday, and then Monday he was at work, so I pulled up the video, and it had like 500 hits. Now, 500 hits isn't a lot, but 500 hits compared to what my other videos was doing, it was like it had generated, almost as many hits as my other videos had generated in a month in 3 days while I wasn't even looking. And I went from... And I didn't even have any voice on it or anything. It was like a YouTube channel that was abandoned, but that it had this just me filming the relay turning on and off in a sequence, like and he's like, what the hell is this? But out of the 500 comments, maybe like 50 comments had come in like, what the hell is this? Can you explain what I'm seeing here? I don't understand what it is. This looks amazing. Please explain your project. I'm like, all right. So I go home and I film, like, again, we live in the real world here, and I was living in New Zealand at the time. I probably filmed the next weekend. I filmed a follow-up video, and I'm like, okay, this is a Raspberry Pi, and I connected it to this relay, and this is how it works. And that video has gone on to get like 150,000 hits since then. Okay, you asked me about how I got started into keyboards. Well, my YouTube channel from then on is kind of growing. And while I'm in New Zealand, I'm buying parts and pieces for Raspberry Pis and for physical computing around the house. And I'm building the code and sharing it online and sharing these like instructional videos for it. And the videos are successful. And I went from making 89 cents a month, where I was looking at making, you had to get $100 to be able to cash out. I was like 8 or 9 months away from cashing out, to I made $89 in I doubled my money in 2 months. And I went, hang on a sec. This is like a YouTube thing. I should totally make more YouTube videos about physical computing. And then I got a phone call. Well, it was actually a Skype call from 2 dudes who were living in New York. And they said, you know what, Pete, New Zealand's great and all, but you should come to New York and do advertising here, because that's my day job. You should do advertising here because it's New York, and New Zealand's great, but come do it in New York. So Steph and I promptly packed our bags, moved out of our house, and came to New York. Once I arrived in New York, it was pretty clear, like in our small apartment, that I wasn't going to be able to continue to do physical computing projects. Like, there was no garage door remote I was ever going to be able to do. And being able to turn on and off the overhead lights were going to require me to do some electrical rewiring that I was just never going to be able to do in the New York apartment. So I did exactly what I'd done before. I went into the comments section, because people were commenting on all my Raspberry Pi videos, and I started following the comments to find out what people were interested in. And some people were interested in doing lighting projects, and I thought, this is really my opportunity to go full bore into my alarm clock project, which I did. But in the comment section, people had started asking me general computing questions. Pete, what type of computer do you use? Pete, what's your favorite keyboard and mouse? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll pick a favorite keyboard, because I used the Microsoft one years ago, the ergonomic one. So start doing my research, right? Start doing the research about mechanical keyboards. You see where this is going? Keyboard Builder says, do you work in an ad agency or work in-house with advertising? I work in an ad agency. I'm a creative director in my day job. Just seeing you guys are talking. Just seeing what you guys are talking about. So anyways, I did my research. I bought the right keyboard. I bought a Cooler Master with browns, Cherry MX browns, and I got it, and it was pretty cool, but it had ABS keycaps, and everybody knows that ABS keycaps are no good. So I did a video about my first keyboard, and then I got another video ready about changing keycaps, and like, people are loving this thing, you know. They're totally digging these videos. They're getting like, you know, thousands of hits, and I'm getting popular and stuff. And so I thought, oh, well, this is cool. Maybe I'll do another video. Because I'm into programming, I'll do one about a programmable keyboard. And so I asked Steph for a Poker 2 for Christmas. And she bought me a Poker 2. And I did a video about how to program the Poker 2. And that was pretty cool. And anyways, I was hanging around on Mech Market because I bought keycaps and, you know, wanted to sell other keycaps. And I didn't like my Cooler Master, so I wanted to sell that. And, you know, because I'm on a budget. I wanted to sell it so I could buy more keyboard stuff. Anyways, I sold my Cooler Master for like... before I sold my Cooler Master, I bought off... what's his name? Epiphany. I bought one of the Frosty Flakes and turned my keyboard into a fully programmable keyboard. Which was awesome, but I still didn't like the brown switches. So I decided that I was going to sell it and buy one with blue switches. And you could sell one at the time for like $80 shipped. Anyways, I sold it for $80, and I'm waiting for somebody to post a Cooler Master with blues on it. And then a guy posted that JD40 that I showed off earlier. The JD40 Original. This one was actually, it was actually built by Margot of Margot Mods. And I was like, this is so dope. So then I did a video about programmable keyboards versus onboard programmable keyboards versus, and that, at that point, that's when things changed like quickly, because people started coming to me asking where they could get the parts to make their own keyboard. And like, I'm recommending Joe from blah, 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 and Mike from blah, blah, blah. And you get your board from that guy and your bass, and there's a guy who does this other thing, and you can get switches from this dude who scavenges them, and you can get your keycaps from... And I'm like, this is retarded. This is retarded. Nobody is making it easy to get keyboard pieces and parts. When you do, you're waiting 6 months between buying the plate. Oh my God, did you guys just see that? Just shot those everywhere. You're waiting 6 months between buying the plate and the PCB and the switches, and the base is another. I'm like, this is ridiculous. We can help. We'd already started a little keyboard store. We can help with this. We can help regulate the flow of these parts and pieces into the community, and we can do that. And we're going to base ourselves not on what we can pre-sell before we buy something, or we're going to base ourselves on delivering the best customer service, because customer service sucks when you buy on a group buy, because nobody will support you. They just kind of fling stuff at you. If they fling stuff at you, let's be honest. nobody provides support. Nobody does it properly. We're gonna do it. And that's how 1UpKeyboards starts. And then, of course, once we started bringing that stuff in, I was making videos about how to put it together. And so the YouTube channel evolved from a skiing channel into a couple of random pieces, into a physical computing channel, and then ultimately into this keyboarding channel. But it's not over. Like, this is just the beginning, folks. When we get the house, we can start doing some more physical computing. So that's kind of the plan. We're going to continue to evolve this thing as best we can and continue to deliver quality content to you. And, you know, again, it all starts from the same place, right? If you think about what I was doing when I built the touchscreen TV, and what I was doing when I started building the Raspberry Pi project, it was all about introducing more people to the interesting parts about computing. And I still think that that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm providing instructional videos and making this sort of stuff accessible. That's what I've been doing the whole time. That's what I'm going to keep doing. Excuse me. And so that's kind of what I'm up to, and that's where I'm headed. And even though the channel is still called Ski with Pete, the plan is to do more of that interesting stuff around the house. Show you guys how to wire stuff up, how to get the most out of your networks. And then how to automate houses more than the commercial products you can currently buy. And that's the sort of stuff I imagine doing. And of course, keyboards, because, man, these things are fun, you know? And it's been a real journey. Anyways, that was my super long Panzer Bjorn says, so basically from skiing to keyboarding. Actually, he says from snowboarding to keyboarding, but it was skiing. From skiing to keyboarding. And if you think about it, both of them end in ing. So they're basically the same thing. That is the long-winded version of how I got into keyboards. Of course, along the way, lots of other stuff has happened too. We went from providing the top quality keyboard sleeves in the industry to adding a whole world of other stuff. My thing has always been about contributing to the community, not just about selling stuff. You know, a lot of people just come in, make a quick dollar, and disappear again. That is totally not what I'm about. This is about helping and sustaining the keyboard community as much as I can. It's about preventing the scammers from existing. Yeah, and it's about helping people discover other stuff. At Ski with Pete, here's a picture Dane Carter wants me to click on. Let me just click on it. I mean, look at this guy. You know, look at all the interested and talented people that we come across. Look at this.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's super cool.
that is super, super cool.
Is it molded or printed?
I think it's 3D printed.
Whoa. Nice.
I mean, dude. And this is why I say, like, it's more like, what I'm doing is more like fractals, right? You start in one place and you kind of find yourself out in another. And then all of a sudden, like Dane Carter, a guy with actual real talent and like skill. Look at that. Look at that awesome keyboard that he's put together. You know, it's been amazing. A couple quick questions coming in here. I just want to try to answer them as I love that. It's like, yeah, I started selling fruit and now I'm selling Ferraris. Two completely unrelated things have led you down an interesting path. Leonidas, you were the one who asked the question. Yeah, man, you got it. Alex Sure says, Pete, are those the new Underglow PCBs? This is the new Underglow PCB here, although I'm going to build with all three of the PCBs that we sell at 1upkeyboards. This one is the GH60 on top. This one is the Gone PCB, and this one underneath is the RGB PCB. That's the one in bubble wrap. Leonidas says, do you ship to Greece? We absolutely do ship to Greece. Shipping is calculated in the cart. So pick out everything you want, put it in the cart. Then that'll take the weights of everything, and then you'll put in your destination as Greece. And it does a pretty good job of being pretty accurate. We also subsidize the shipping when it comes to international. So it is expensive, but just so you know, it's not a full price. We don't make any money off of the shipping. That's not our thing. We used to live in different places, as you heard. We used to live in the UK. We lived in New Zealand, and now we live in New York. And we know that shipping to international places can be difficult and time-consuming. And again, our mission is to try to make it easy and make it simple and get stuff to people that want it. That's our thing. And then show you how to use it, and then support the hell out of it. So that is also our thing. Okay, I'm just picking these up here so I can throw them all these little bits in the bin. All right. Well, with 44 people watching and 31 likes, it's time once again, I'm sorry to do it, but to remind everybody, press like, press subscribe. So that was a really big question that led to a really long answer. But you know, as I said before, it really is like fractals. You never know, you never really know where it's going to lead. If people really weren't enjoying my YouTube videos, or if people really weren't supportive in the community, which they have been, by the way. And every time I do this, I always feel like I should shout out Ripster, the main man who started the Mechanical Keyboards subreddit. Ripster was very supportive of 1UpKeyboards at the very start. We told him what our mission was and what we were trying to do, and he was just an absolute stalwart. Is that the right word? He was an absolute pillar in establishing 1UpKeyboards, because he knew that we were about quality and doing those things. So Rob R throws down $5 for the origin story. Yeah. And as promised, I always read out the thing. It doesn't matter what it is. You can see it on screen right now. Look at that. Wow, awesome. It says, a little something for the origin story, Pete. Thanks, man. We're at 255. So we are $195 from the target. Nice and Creamy's in the house too. What's going on, Nice and Creamy? Okay. Let's... what should I do with all these switches? Maybe I'll just put them in something. What should I put them in? Give me just one sec, guys. I'm just going to put them in something. What am I doing this thing? Which place did you enjoy to live most at? New Zealand is a very special, beautiful place. I really loved New Zealand for its beauty. At the time in my life, it was... Sorry, I know it's noisy and I'm trying to talk over it. at the time I was living in New Zealand, it was the perfect time. There's a lot of vineyards and beaches. And, man, I loved New Zealand. That was awesome. But equally, I loved London. I was at London at the right time of my life, too. And I just thought it was epic. I thought that Loughborough was a little bit sleepy for the time of my life that I was there. I was in my 20s when I was in Loughborough, and it's kind of a small town in the middle of the UK. And it wasn't really my sort of vibe. Nor was Falmouth, really. I had a great time going to college there, but it was too sleepy a town for me. I'm more of a big city boy. Even though Auckland isn't really a big city, it's still more of a big city than either of those two other places were. What else? I lived in Aspen for a while. That was brilliant. I lived in Brisbane for a short while with my parents. I didn't really get much out of that. I lived in Amsterdam for a short while, but that was a tough... Oh, there's a bag. I could have used the bag for it. Dane Carter throws down the super chat just while I'm gossiping. Dane Carter says, keeping the ball rolling, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. There's a $2 donation. Oh, it only blinked on screen for like a split second then. That was weird, but 257. Let's just check. Thank you again, Dane. That's awesome of you. And to Rob R. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to check out the sub. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, guys. What the heck? We've gained 1 sub since the start of the show. No, maybe more. Jesper Lundqvist throws down a super chat as well for SEK50. And Jesper says, I want my name on screen too. SEK50. Okay, Google. How much is 50 Swedish kroners in US dollars? $6.27. $6 puts us at 263. We are on the way towards 450. Atari Zero throws it down. Atari Zero with $20. He says, let's do this. We are now at 283, guys. 283. Yeah. Sweetness. Thank you, guys. Atari Zero with $20. We're at 283 of 450. For those of you just joining or who haven't been on the stream before, we are on the way towards $450 to do a 360 cam as a second camera, so you guys can take your own view around the area and watch the parts that you think are most interesting. So my plan is actually to put that camera right here, which you can't see. That camera would be right there. So let's just give you some coordinates. Right from there, it'd be there. From here, it'd be here. So it'd be like here, but over here. So you can look around my desk and you can see all the stuff that's going on, and you can look around the wider room and see all that. I don't know, maybe interesting stuff. Who knows? But also, importantly, what it'll be able to do is let you focus in on the different parts of what I'm up to. So if you don't like one of my views, you'll be able to turn that as a separate camera on. I'm going to grab some water because you guys have had me yelling with all these awesome super chats. Steph hands me a water like she knew. Here you go, Steph. Oh, maybe I'll keep it. Panzer Bjorn asks he says, I have a legitimate keyboard question. He says, I've started modding switches and I've been using 67-gram gold springs from China. I love them because no ping. What makes a spring not ping? Awesome question. Let's use the action cam and pop this. All right, action cam, here we go. Gonna grab some tweezers out of the drawer. Leonidas Crouch says, I just sent you $5 via PayPal. Great, grab a coffee. Great work. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah, donation received. It has just come through. $5 from Leonidas. Let's throw down another $5 into the mix here. We're now at 288, guys. 288 of 450. Thank you, Leonidas. That's awesome. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And while I was in there, I should have grabbed these tweezers to show you. Here we go. We're going to action cam. I'm just going to... Oh, this is weird. This is a Zealio and a panda. Or a Zelda, as it's sometimes called. The Zelda is super popular Switch. Can someone make a gif of Pete drinking water? That's awesome. Okay. There you are inside the Switch. All right. There is the top of the spring, and down there is the bottom. Okay. It tends to be the case that most of the pinging comes from the thing at the bottom or the thing at the top rattling around with the spring. Okay, so let's say, right, you can imagine this as I push this in. This is happening at both the top and the bottom, right? So we've got this little slider here, and on the slider, just like that, is just the same as this going in here. Okay, watch what happens when I push the spring. When I push the spring, it loads up onto the... Watch. You see that? It just clicked and popped. Watch, I'm going to do it again. Right? Now I'm pulling. You see how it pops? Those pops, those moments of friction. I'm going to do it right by the microphone this time, actually. So you won't be able to see it, but maybe I'll do it one more time here. Look, I'm pulling. There's tension on it. And then it snaps. When it snaps, there's a little noise. Right by my microphone here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it. I'm going to move the pop filter. Ready? That little pop is actually the spring moving around on both the base and inside of here. The same thing is happening when you push this down like this. Look, you push it down, and when it's released, it pings and clicks and moves around in there. Now, what else happens is especially when you have a plate made out of something like stainless steel or aluminum, that little noise, that little tick, will actually be reverberated across your plate. So instead of just hearing a little, you'll hear a ping, because it's now that little bit of friction as you pulled it, that little pop is being echoed and vibrating the entire plate. So it's going to go ping. Now, there's people... This is like... I don't want you to... Because when I say stuff like this, then people start going crazy at me. And I don't want anybody to go crazy at me, okay? The rule is, I just say what the truth is, and then whatever. People go crazy at me because I sometimes pick out... Sometimes people put dampeners. Yeah. And that's the way. The way to fix that, Creamy said, also the spring gets crunchy with the wire grinding against itself. That happens too at the bottom. The other thing that people do is they put a little drop of lube. Sorry, I'm just going to show you here. They put a little drop of lube up at the top so that instead of watching it go as it comes out, instead of that, it just moves smoothly. So that's the thing. That's why some people lube the tops and bottoms of their springs to stop that pingy noise. But some people put dampeners in their case. They put like felt at the bottom of the case. You know, they don't need to do that. Not to stop the ping, anyways. But some people do. You know, some people carry rabbit's foot because that brings them luck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Maybe rabbit's feet does bring people luck. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know nothing. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you want the ping to go away, you should probably lube the top. Or if you have already found that the types of springs that you're using aren't causing the ping, it's probably because they're the right size to go around that thing, and they're just not popping like the other things are. So that's another explanation. that I'm going to back away from it just because I know I'm going to get a lot of angry emails. And there's going to be a guy out there who's got his own YouTube channel who's like, no, you put felt in the bottom because the felt stops the pingy noise from... I put my hands up and I'm saying, I'm sorry. I'm just speculating. I don't know, guys. I want to be clear about this stuff because when I say, like, you know, we don't sell rattly stabs, people are like, oh, your stabs are so rattly. It's just they're not lubed, guys. And then I get in trouble, and then people meme me, and they get all mean about it, and they're like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just self-interested. I don't know, man. I'm just putting my hands up. Mange HD, I agree. Putting felt in the case can just help with overall noise, but not spring noise so much. But I say that there's going to be a guy out there who's been telling people for years that he builds custom felt things in his keyboard and puts extra thing in it, and that's the reason he charges so much. And I'm just a crazy yacker who doesn't know anything about anything. I know that's going to happen because it's already happening. Okay. Enough. I'm finding my inner peace. Just finding my inner peace. Causing a little drama in the keyboard community because that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. People criticizing the Pete. Fine. You know, fine. I can take it. I could totally take it. You want to pay an extra $25 for somebody to line your case with felt? Sure, man. I got nothing against you, guy who does that and posts on YouTube that the other people who make keyboards don't know what they're doing. Sure, man. I get it. You're trying to preserve your business, but stop shitting on me all the time. Okay, lubing stabs. Okay, first things first, find a link to this, Crytalk's GPL 205 in the Panzer B1 says, skiwithpete, is the Zeal stem really as tactile as the MX Clear, only smoother? Yeah, that's why they charge. That's why Zeal is able to charge so much, and yet people still buy the hell out of his stuff because it's as tactile as MX Clear, not fake like other switches, and it's smoother. Yes. Means I personally don't believe in the Band-Aids. I don't, but I'm willing to try it. Just not today because that's not what this keyboard build is about. And it means you're totally allowed. Like, everybody is allowed to have their own opinions about stuff. And I don't need 100 emails a day about people who bought a $60 keyboard that I said wasn't very good when I reviewed it. Y'all can have the keyboards that you want for $60. I don't care. And just because I said that the Cooler Master Keys PBT is the best keyboard that you can buy on a budget doesn't mean that it's the cheapest. Please stop sending me 100 emails a day correcting me for my opinion on that. It's the best because it's got quality materials and you can upgrade it. That's what makes it good value. Not because it's smaller or bigger than some other thing with an aluminum thing and a plastic bottom that costs $26 with Utemu switches. If you are the guy who's emailed me 100 times, please leave me alone. All right. I know you have a beef with... no, I don't have a beef with that one guy or any one guy at all. I don't have a beef. The only thing I have a beef with is when people say stuff that isn't necessarily true. There are many other keyboard builders, and let me tell you, even if they've only got 3 or 4 viewers, I am one of them because I watch a lot of keyboard builder videos. Because I want to see somebody do a frigging solder cam, and I'm the only one who does it. I'm like waiting for somebody to copy it. I'm like, somebody's going to copy this eventually. What? I'm just reading the comments. No, 001 keyboards, man, he makes some quality stuff. And he just has methods that I don't necessarily employ, but that's not what I'm talking about. And, you know, each to their own. Like, if you guys want a keyboard built, if you tried to get me to buy you to build you a keyboard on stream, not only A, are you going to wait a long time for that, but B, you're going to pay a ridiculous amount. And to be honest, I'm going to build it the way that I build it. If you want somebody else to build a keyboard for you with their, you know, shaking a voodoo stick over it, that's fine too. Like, I totally get that. And that's not against 001 keyboards. I'm just saying in general, look, Nice and Creamy is a dude who builds a lot of keyboards. You want him to build in his style, and everybody has their own little things. If you want him to build in his style, you should totally do that. Like, I'm totally not necessarily the right guy to build every keyboard for everyone ever. And I would never say that but I believe in the ripster, the man with the science. You got to have science. You got to prove stuff. If you're a guy who shakes a voodoo stick, then I say weird. That's all. Okay. Yeah, it's so true. Different strokes for different folks, and that's why I don't judge you. Everybody judges me, man, and I'm gonna back away from this conversation. I don't want to be judged anymore. I just want to lube some stabs. That's all I'm doing. I'm just lubing some stabs, and everybody is just gonna do their own thing. And like, if you find a way to make your keyboard even better than the ones that I built, do that stuff. Do it. Oh, dude, that's Nice and Creamy. You just said something totally different. You just said something totally different, but I took it in a completely different way. That's very funny. And he just said, like, I'd look for something that isn't a dirt hair magnet. Yeah. You know what I love? Let me just have a little rant. Again, a little rant, just a tiny one. And this isn't against anyone in particular. This is just in general. I'm just talking about generalities. When you lubricate something rubbing up against something else. You can hear my hands? Because it's something rubbing up against something else. If something is, then lubricating that won't help anything. Lubricating is to reduce friction. Lubricating, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm a cyclist, or I was. I was a cyclist. I cycled for many years, and I cycled in London, which is a dirty, grimy place, filled with all sorts of black soot, and it got gunked into everything that I did. And of course, it rains a lot, and when it rains, there's mud, and my God, it is. And I tell you what, there's a lot of really high quality lubricants out there. For chains, and there's even which is such a brilliant, when you think about it, a brilliant innovation is that they have wax-based lubricants. That when you shake them, the wax turns into tiny little molecules. It gets inside the chain, but as you ride, if a little piece of grain of sand were to get inside the chain, the wax would actually ball up around it and then push it out to the outside and then crystallize around it. I mean, the type of innovation that's happening around lubricants. I also am very fortunate growing up. One of my close friends, who also, by the way, is a fellow YouTuber, although she's hair and makeup a YouTuber, and I don't recommend that any of the dudes who are watching now watch her. Her dad worked in the Canadian aerospace industry developing lubricants, and the guy, so interesting, he was saying that at the time, the most advanced lubricant in the world, this is years ago, the most advanced lubricant in the world, again, this is just what he told me, there's a guy who works, the most advanced in the world was actually, I'm going to say it out loud, and you guys are going to, as soon as I say it, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a deluge of emails, and the most advanced lubricant in the world was actually pig joints. What they would do is they would take animal byproduct, which was pig, like boar, lubricant, what are they called? The stuff that's like in your knee, cartilage. They would take that, they would grind it up into a powder, and they would use that as one of the most advanced lubricants that had ever been.
This is a while ago now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago. It was in the late 90s. But, you know, what? Again, he said some awesome stuff to me. He said, you know what, Pete? The best lubricant in the world is actually water. If you can separate two things, if you can separate a ball and socket with water, then, it's fine. They'll never touch. But, of course, and he was working on the Canada Space Arm, or the SPARM. And he said that the most advanced lubricant they'd ever found was this pig knuckle stuff. But, stuff like water has a freezing point, and so too do any animal compounds, because they, of course, include water in them. Like, we're mostly humans. Anyways, that's my crazy story about my lubricant journey. Also, because I was a ski instructor, Ski with Pete. Because I was a ski instructor, I also did quite a bit of, and I'm like, you know what I'm like, right? You get this whole thing. Oh, like Pete's going to research about this little piece, and he's going to figure out how it works and what it does and what the best way to make this thing is. I realize that I'm a little weird like that, but because of the skiing, I also did a lot of research into lubricants for skiing, and it turns out that CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, which are chlorinated fluoride carbons, are actually the slickest thing that you can find on snow. If you want to talk about ski wax, this would be a long discussion. Anyways, all that said, there's been two major innovations in the keyboard industry. And I'm not talking about them today, but I will be talking about them in the very near future. In fact, probably a couple of weeks from now, we're going to introduce on our website a new switch lubricant, it looks like it's poised to redefine the industry. And yeah. The Canadarm, yeah, it is. The Canada Space Arm. But in Canada, we call it the SPARM, don't we? I'm pretty sure it's called the SPARM. Or it was called the SPARM before it was called the Canada Arm. And the new one is called the SPARM because it has a name like Kayakuk or whatever, which means village. Look up Canada. Can you do that for me? The Canada Space Arm 2 has a different name. Yeah, I actually know people who worked on the Canada Arm. So awesome. When I say I know them, they're the parents to my friends. She's super cool too. She's got a really cool YouTube channel. She's going to be a star one day. We're all going to talk about the time, about how we knew her. JB is in the house. Ooh. I don't think that's our JB, though. That's not our JB. Steffi says, at Ski with Pete, always wondered, how does the 3D printed cases you sell look? Steph, can I ask you a favor? Could you come grab me one of those 3D printed cases?
They're on your side.
I know, but I have lube in my hands and stuff. Could you grab one, unpackage it, and then just pop it on screen for a sec? Hold on one sec. Hold on. I'm trying to put this in place, Steph. It's not easy. There. It's easy. Done. Okay. I'm very new to the keyboard building scene. What would be a good build? I have a Poker 3 at the moment, so something that size. Oh, this is Tofu Mom, not JB. Oh, awesome, JB. Or Tofu Mom. Okay, first off, the first question was this. What do the 3D printed cases look like? This is what they look like. Here, I'm going to do a close-up on the action cam so you can see. They're real high quality, like for 3D prints, I know. Okay, but just jumping back to Jesse T's question. Jesse, if I can make a recommendation, the very first one that you build should actually be a Sweet 16. We created this Sweet 16 so that you could build a keyboard without much, without any knowledge and without risking too much. So that would be my first build. My second build after that would be, something different. Probably a 1UP keyboards. And by the way, I'm the owner of 1UP keyboards. That's why I recommend them. Probably a 1UP keyboards, 1UP RGB PCB with a plastic base and a simple top, maybe one of these carbon fiber ones. That's what I would recommend as your first full PC build. Sorry, not PC build, keyboard build. And the reason that I would suggest that is that the Sweet 16 will get you familiar with the switches and everything and the process of using QMK, so you can join in at a deeper level and enjoy it. But yeah, the Sweet 16 is meant to be the introductory keyboard for the first time builder. That's why we build it. That's why we sell them. And to be honest, it's extremely popular. So I'm very hopeful that a lot of people will join the community through that. All right. Before I get to testing the PCBs and putting these on, I'm just going to keep building more stabs here. Keyboard Builder says, building is not hard. It is better to buy a proper keyboard than spend money using a macro pad, which is not something that most people use. I disagree. I think that using a macro pad has all sorts of functionality. For example, when I press this button, this is a macro pad that I built. That, like, what else are they going to use it for? I don't know. You find cool things to use them for, like pressing a thumbs up or the 4K explosion. You all ready for this? 4K explosion. But that's not to say that you necessarily need to if you've already done a lot of soldering projects. Of course, you can go straight to the keyboard. It's it's not that I'm trying to discourage you necessarily from doing that. I'm just saying for a first-time builder, a $30 project can give you a great introduction to the world of keyboarding and also give you some clues about the sorts of things that you want or don't want when you build. But it is a bare bones thing to build. And yeah, use this QMK. It doesn't have any of the easier stuff. If you're going to build for the first time at 60%, I do recommend the Gone PCB because it's so easy to program using Windows. Cool. Let's just take a quick look at the subs. Guys, don't forget to press subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march towards... I'm going to put it back up. We're on the march towards 30,000. We're 136 away. Is that right? Yeah, 136 away from 30K. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to press subscribe. And don't forget to mock me for saying press like and press subscribe. What else is going on this fine Saturday afternoon?
Our Saturday is now gone from bright and sunny to clouded over since we're supposed to have our...
Oh yeah, we got a snowstorm coming in tonight, so hopeful on that. Yeah, it doesn't matter yet. We're only 2 hours into this live stream, but there is a 4-hour cap on this live stream. But if I'm not finished, I may just start a second stream. Just gonna be at this for a while, just building out these stabs. Nice and Creamy says, Pete, I just got an 8-foot workbench. Can't imagine that little guy that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have room to stream now. Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Nice and Creamy is, for you guys who don't know, he's one of the best builders in the community. Always love his stuff. He's taught me so much stuff over the years. And a great guy. Yeah, I would have Nice and Creamy make me a build if I was looking for the world of customs. Cool. Just putting these stabs together. This is not the part where I silence them. I will silence them at a later step. But right now, I'm just looping out these corners. My thinking with these builds is that there is a group of people out there who, for whatever reason, can't build their own. That's what I thought I would do. They can't build their own, but they know that Zealios are the best switches, and they know that 60% is the size that they want, and they know that the carbon fiber is where it's at. So I thought I would just put together a couple boards for them to be able to pick them directly up off the site, and that is exactly what I'm up to today. Mr. Chronicle is here. Oh, no, Mick Chronicle is here. What's going on, Mick Chronicle? We have covered a variety of topics today, from talking about pig cartilage to the different cities around the world that I've been lucky enough to visit and live in, to the origin story of Ski with Pete as a YouTube channel, to the creation of 1upkeyboards. What else can we talk about today? I don't know. I don't know that there's much left. Dane Carter with the super chat. As always, the promise is I will read it out. So Dane Carter has said, "Hey Alexa, call me Peter Pants from now on."
Sorry, I don't know that.
I don't know that either. Thank you, Dane. We are now at $290. 290 of our march towards 450. That's the deal, guys. I always read out word for word what you write in the super chats. All right. Stab number 2 complete. Oscar Hernandez is up in the house. What's going on, Oscar? Welcome to the stream. Don't forget to press like. Oh, we're at 37 watching with 35 likes. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. And then mock me for constantly saying that you got to smash the like button because it brings people to the show. And I know. But that's the whole plan for today, though. We're on the march towards... Let's see how we're doing. We got 1 new subscriber. Yes. Thank you, new subscriber. Welcome to the stream. Leonidas says, "What's the best mechanical keyboard you've ever used?" Well, Leonidas, I don't know that I have a solid answer for that because to me, keyboarding is a lot like rock, paper, scissors. One always beats the next. I think that Steph's TKL from 1upkeyboards in carbon fiber with Gaddis switches is probably one of the best that I've ever used. But of course, I couldn't bring that to work with me. I think that my 67 gram Zelda, that's Zealios and Panda switches, in the with a carbon fiber plate and the Clipe base, is also one of the best that I've ever used. I think that my regular 67 gram, my sleeper keyboard, the one that looks like a Poker 2, but it's not a Poker 2, that's also one of my favorites. What else? Oh, there was that one that I got that I tested, the electrocapacitive one. Was surprisingly good. Electrocapacitive. Who was that from? I packed it. I wanted to go to the new house. That's one of the best. Oh my god, this one that I got from BM McWirt. This one's totally dope. The Varmilla one is the one I was thinking of. The electrostatic mechanical. That one's pretty dope. What else? What other ones do I use? Oh, I built myself a TKL with lubed Gaterons. That one was pretty nice, but loud. I got some Topre boards. I got a Topre. Well, I got an HHKB. Yeah, I got a Leopold, like that one too. What else have I got that I really like? I don't know. I'm gonna make one not this weekend with the 67 gram Xylence. I got this. We experimented with a white electroplated, but look how badly it turned out. It turned out terrible, but I'm going to make this into a keyboard, and I'm pretty excited about it because I want it to be like a banger. I want it to be like the worst looking keyboard of all time. So I'm actually kind of excited about this one. This is going to be fun. But look how crappy this is. So crappy. It's going to be like the worst keyboard in the world. And that sounds like fun to me. What else? But I'll pull Steph's Gaddis one out for you later. But just listen to this thing. This is from across the room. mean, that thing is so sick. What? Nice and creamy. I'm going to talk about OLKB about it. He's planning one too. What? About what? What? I missed it? Model M, SSK. Oh, the Atmega 32U. You're going to try to do a different chip. I think that's a cool idea. What switches do you recommend for an office setting? Well, starting now, I recommend the Xylants because I love my Zealios, and I use them in the office, and they're fine. They're not like the loudest switch ever at all. I use them in the office, and they're fine. But the new Xylants, and I'm not building today with a Xylant, even though I should be, but they are awesome. They're awesome. They're like super tactile, and now they're going to be silenced on the down and the up. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to building one. And I want to name that keyboard the Assassin so that I create the Xylant Assassin. I know, you guys, you come here for the jokes. Nobody really comes here for the keyboards. You really come here for the jokes. The Xylant Assassin. Do you get it? I know you get it. Cherry browns are used for that nice tactile bump, says Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, I know. You know what really upset me is that Linus Tech Tips didn't talk to 1UpKeyboards when he was doing his thing. It's like, come on. Come on, man. You want quality? Come talk to the, come talk to the people, What are you doing? Buying Gatorons? Just regular Gatorons? Come buy some nice ones, Some real nice ones. Forget about it. We were written up in this month's Make Magazine. If you guys get Make Magazine, look around in there. You're going to find an article about 1UpKeyboards, which is cool. Super cool. Extremely cool. The coolest. It's the coolest. All right. Okay. We're getting pretty close here to the end of the stabberizing. Why am I building all these tabs? Because I've got 3 keyboards to build. That's why. 3. And excuse me. What is the best way to lube without killing tactility? Does it come down to the thickness of the lube on the little stem fingers? We should talk about this, but we should talk about it in a longer format, because what I should do is experiment with you, because I have preconceived notions, but I don't have all of everything proved out. So I don't think that lubing can ever remove tactility. I think that lubing just makes things flow smoother, but the tactility should always be there. Okay, but the type of plastic that they're using inside switches, depending on the switches, doesn't necessarily need lube. It's a funny one now. And you want a switch lube that's like a proper switch lube, not an inconsistent like I do. An inconsistent melange of 2 or 3 different things. So there's a right answer to this. There's a good answer to this, and then there's the perfect answer to this. And can we save that for next week? Maybe the week after, but let's save it for next week. Because then I can... Sorry, I have a recurring alarm happening because I had a meeting yesterday. But I didn't mean for it to be repeating, and it's buzzing in my pocket. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to run to the little boys' room for a second. I will be straight back directly. Steph, do you want to put together some more of these stabs?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to press the be right back. And I'm going to put it on mute. And I will be right back. Just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. turning off mute. I think we're off mute now. Yep, we're off mute. Oh, I'm just stretching out my neck and back and butt and stuff. So, I'm just going for a little coffee here. What's the presidential method, right? It's this. You put both hands and then you... It's good. It's real good. It's good coffee. I don't want this to obscure $290, guys. We're so close now. Wait. $290 of $450. That is so cool. We're getting so close to that. Oh, hold on one sec. My phone was just buzzing. DVZN, who was here earlier, sent me a message just asking about some of my equipment, so I wanted to send him a quick reply. And then when my phone buzzed, I thought it might be him returning it again. But super nice guy. Honestly, if there's a YouTuber out there who I think is really up and coming, he is at the top of my list. My reviews are shitty. Like, I'm not keyboard builder. Are you a Trump or Hillary supporter? I'm neither. I'm a Canadian who what's that? Yeah, I reside in the U.S., but I do not have a say. No, I'm not allowed to say. And even if I did, then I would be an outside agent attempting to influence, which I'm also not allowed to do. So I genuinely say this, I have no opinion on it. It would be wrong for me to have an opinion. And Mueller seems to be arresting a lot of different people. And I don't want to be one of them. That's interesting. Mange HC wrote, he is in NYC, so I would think Hillary. The neighborhood that I currently live in, I think, went heavily to Hillary in the last election, and the neighborhood that I am moving to went heavily for Trump in the election. So an interesting cross-section of people in New York City, as you would... All right, we're getting closer here. Now, what am I doing? People are yelling, "No politics! No politics!" No politics. And like I say, I can't anyways. Let me just put these off to the side. I'm just going to put this here. Just one second. I'm just trying to find the cable. There it is. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I just want to do a keyboard tester. And I'm just going to switch over to this view, which is my keyboard tester. Because what I'm about to do is just do all of the... Oh, wait. This is the keyboard tester before you got to click launch the tester. Steph has decided to make as much noise as humanly possible behind me, yeah. Which is perfect.
Okay, done. I gotta open the microwave thing.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is what I'm going to do here is just plug this in, and now I'm just going to test one of the keys, the F key. F has registered, so we know that this keyboard is working. Let's just do another key just for fun. Y, we know that this PCB is working. I'm good to build with this PCB. Moving on to the next one. You got to make sure that you test your PCBs, guys, because if you don't test your PCB and the whole board is dead and you're done soldering, unfortunately, the manufacturers will not cover the warranty any further. So you've really got to do it. Not sure what number or letter this is. What is that? E. This one also F. This is a working PCB. We are golden. We are 2 for 2 on PCBs. Most of these work because most of them are tested in the factory. What? Oh my god, I just stabbed myself with tweezers. Sorry, I haven't been reading the comments. Yeah, you don't know that you're building a keyboard until you bleed for it. Let's just check this one now. I don't know what this letter is. KKK. GGG. DDD. We're good. All right, so we have 3 fully working PCBs. We can go ahead and push them into the stabilizers into these different pieces. All right, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do this. I'm just going to remove this thing away. Can you show the contacts you were using to test? Sure, sure, no problem. Let's just do this a little closer here. Let's, 1 second here. Here's the cable. I'm going to plug it in. Exposed at skiwithpete. Oh, that was the letter that was being tested out, and then I said 3 times. Oh God, no, guys. Oh God, no, guys. No. No jokes even about that. No. I'm Canadian. Please don't even joke about that stuff. I just repeated the letter out loud 3 times that I was testing, and I randomly touched a letter. Please, never in a million years. No, that's a very serious topic, and no jokes about that even. I mean, politics is one thing not to joke about, religion another, but let's not pretend that we're glossing over serious subjects. Give me 1 second. I just noticed there's like a sticker in the top corner of this one. I just want to pull it off here. That was weird. I've never seen that happen. No, that's not Rob. That's not even funny. I really, that's totally not cool in my books. I would have yelled out 333 if that was the key that I'd pressed. Okay, what am I doing here? Look, let's go to the action cam. Actually, let's go to the overhead cam first. Tweezers. These are non-magnetic tweezers that I got on Amazon for $3. And all I'm going to do is just randomly select a letter. Here, I'm going to show you on Action Cam how I do it. You can see there's these 2 contact points here. And you just touch those 2 contact points. Just like that. And I'm just going to go to Tester. And I'm just going to touch whatever letter this is. And you go, what is that? Oh. And this one, brackety. What's this one? N. So that's how you test just by go back to the action cam. Just by linking these two things, that should get the switch to fire. Now I'm just doing it with non-magnetic tweezers, which, like I say, are just super cheap. But if you don't have those, you could use something else. Anything you have that's metal would do it. A paper clip would be fine, or keycap puller, or anything. Just as long as you have a metal connection and you can bridge those two points. That's all you need to do in order for it to fire. And once it fires, you know that the connection is happening to the connection is happening and that the chip is working. That's really all you're testing. Now, if one of the letters doesn't work, you can test all the letters, and some people do. But if you find the letter doesn't work later, there's always a way to repair it. As long as one of the switches is working, there's always a way to bring the whole board back to life. But if none of it is working, then you have a much more serious problem. You could have a chip fade, or you could have a chip burn, or you could have improper alignment on something. So that's all you really want to check, is just that's working. And like I say, once you've established that the board is working, that's enough. I'm happy to progress on from there. And also, when I do the testing at the end, you'll see that oftentimes some of these don't work. Like these ones over in this corner, or if I was doing a TKL, like print screen doesn't properly register on keyboard tester. Atari Zero is out. Catch you later, man. Okay, and I know I've showed this 1,000 times in the past, but I'm going to do it all the same with Action Cam. You do the toe. There's two parts. There's the toe and the heel. The heel is split. The toe has a little hook. The toe goes in the big hole. The heel goes in the little hole. And you just want this to smash down nice like that on both sides. Thanks again, Atari Zero. I really do appreciate the super chat from earlier. We're getting close, man. We're not far away. Appreciate it. What are we? $160 short. It's gonna be good. Okay, that's the first one is in there. And again, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. The toe goes, oops. The toe goes in the big hole. Pete, were you always a techie, geeky type? So I think, and I say this to my wife, and she laughs at me all the time. I think I've always had the same tendency towards research, and my desire and love of research is played out 3 times in my life so far. My desire for knowledge and research, I would say first really came out in when I was a ski instructor, because I wanted to know every detail about how a ski worked and how a ski was designed, and how the bases work and how lubricants worked, and that was really like my first deep learning. I genuinely believe that even 15, 20 years after retiring from being a ski instructor, I still reckon I'm probably like knowledgeable about everything that's happening in skiing. And then I think that it happened again with cycling when I gave up skiing and moved to the UK and became an everyday cyclist. I became extremely knowledgeable about bicycles and how they work and what they're all about. And then the third instance, of course, is this kind of tech geek world. And like there are other sports and things that I've participated in and other subjects that I've like been really involved in, but not to the level of skiing and cycling and now keyboarding. Rob R says, what do you think of screw and stab speed? I've started to use them on all of my builds. I really like the fact I don't have to worry about them after they're installed. Yeah, I think we're... I think two things about them. One, I complained excessively about some of their shortcomings until recently, and I think I'm going to get some in to test. I think it's... yeah, something that I'm going to continue to investigate is the best answer to that. Just to finish off my question. Oh, Anders asked, have you ever considered doing a Bluetooth Nerd 60 build? I haven't done that yet, just because not a lot of cases support it, but I'd love to in the future. That's something I'd like to do, actually. Just to finish the question about our techie geeky, I've always had an interest in computers, but I was never like to a super deep knowledge. Like I was always kind of interested in Linux, but I didn't really properly go deep on it until I really started the YouTube channel about 7 or 8 years ago. I was always kind of interested in it, but I didn't really know much about it. And then this YouTube channel has caused me to become a proper Linux geek. And like, I love the Linux. What was the question? Do you still bike? Do you road or mountain bike? I rode, and no, I very rarely do. I've actually really badly damaged my hip, and it has made cycling quite uncomfortable. It is something I need to look after, and I have not yet. But I need to, and I hope to at the new place. And yeah, I'm a roadie. I'm definitely a roadie. I used to mountain bike when I was a kid. But one of my friends, I went mountain biking with her in just a shitty little backwoods, nothing. And she hurt her knee and had to stop skiing. And I stopped mountain biking after that, really. Which Linux distro, says Jesse T? I mean... Come on, man. Debian, obviously. Obviously. I say Debian. Ubuntu, Debian, Mint. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. My Nerd TKL has Bluetooth. Sorry, how's Bluetooth on the gun boards? I've never used it. I don't know. I've barely heard anything about the response battery life. I don't know. Range is incredible. Oh, Creamy's answering. He knows his stuff. I'm going to go to overhead because this view, I don't think you guys are really getting much out of it. So. Oh, Shad says. Oh, Dane. Oh, man. Sorry, I looked away for a couple minutes, and then it's like... there's Gen 2 for Mange. Arch from Dane. Dane, I tried to hang out with Arch, man. Holy crap, it's so hard to use and to support. And, like, every time you try to update it, you got to go through so much hell. And then, as an admin, Red Hat CentOS for that long-term support. So I really struggled with Red Hat because of the multimedia support. I've never really gotten along with Red Hat. But I think it's because I just live in a Debian world, you know, Raspbian, Ubuntu on my desktop. Yeah. No, it's just different strokes, I think. Jordan Ahern. Yeah, Mange HD throwing it down. Thanks, buddy. I don't know why that went there. I wasn't going in for a second, but I got it. I got it. Oh man, I really didn't get that one. Leonidas, well, you have a good one, man. Thanks very much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and for the super chat. No, you didn't super chat. You sent me on PayPal. Listen, I really do appreciate that. I appreciate you supporting the channel, and thank you on behalf of everybody else who also appreciates you doing that. Thanks, man. That's super awesome of you. Okay, what's weird about me is this is when I lube my stabs, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. This is when I do it because all I do is grab it here and then do them like that. And then I'm going to lube the back too to get rid of that rattle. This is when I prefer to lube them. You can even do it afterwards, to be honest. Once they're already in place. Once the keycaps are already on, I mean. Because what I do is I fill the backs of them with the lube. That really stops the rattling noise. But this is just the slide side of it. You know, just to prevent that rattle from happening there. But again, this is almost done, actually. I should probably refill it. The Cool Cat won. What's up? As a Canadian, do you like Jordan Peterson and Justin Trudeau? I don't know who Jordan Peterson is. Does that make me a bad person? I should probably... Just mixing up some lube here. This is thin lube. This is really expensive stuff. But you mix it with thick lube, and the two together turn into some pretty sweetness, really. Oh, that's my phone buzzing away. I'm just going to have to take a look at that. like I said, I was just talking to DBZN Media, and he had some questions. I think he was about to make a purchase, so I just want to make sure that I'm down with that, dude. Yeah, give me just 1 second to just answer the call there.
We're winning 2-0. We're the Rangers.
Actually, it was Rempired sending me a message just then, saying that he's just posted on Reddit a picture of his 1UP PCB. That Gone PCB looks so nice. It's too bad it has a hefty price tag. You are absolutely right, man. It is. The thing with the keyboard community a lot of times is that quality is forgotten about in favor of price. Like, oh, did you see that you can get this thing with these 5 features rather than a focus on quality? It's a shame a lot of the time, but so too is the case with the... you know what? I'm going to do a close-up so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Just give me 1 second just to finish this off. Let me show you in a close-up here. Okay, look at this. Look. We're just looking at the top of the board here. It's just the top. Now look at the back of it. Like I say, the quality that you get, the quality difference is insane. It is insane. Okay, and now I'm going to lube up the backs of these stabs. Again, you guys can do this after the switches are put into the keyboard. It's not required to be done beforehand. Fill that cavity a little more. I thought this bottle of lube was done last week. I'm amazed that there's more in it at all. Let alone enough to lube all these stabs. I can't believe it. Where's it all coming from? Yeah, what did you guys think of that close-up of the gone PCB? It's like, again, I think the community, it's not a criticism of the community. I think it's a criticism. It's like an observation of people all around the world that we're more feature focused than we are quality focused. Yeah, I'm with you, Creamy. Gon's the on-the-fly macros is insane. That his software updates on the fly with the Windows nerdy GUI is insane. The quality of his stuff is insane. Unfortunately, those things are typically reserved for the beginner, though, because as you get more advanced, you're more likely to be able to use QMK and QMK, advanced features. So anyway, those are my observations about it. Well, this lube surely is coming to an end here. Oh, it's hurting my hand. I'm trying to force it all down to one end of the bottle. But it's lube. So it's lubricating its own path back to the back of the bottle. No kidding. That is an idea, though. Fold it. Look at that. By comparison, this is the bottle that I. How many keyboards have I built on this channel? Like hundreds. And this is the new bottle. Whoa! Look at the size of this puppy. Okay, I just want to clean up a couple of my little mistakes here. A little extra lube there, and I could rub it around the side. There's a little extra lube there, and I could rub that around the side too. Alright. There's quite a bit of lube on this thing, actually. This paintbrush, I mean. Oh, that's alright. Oh no. It's gone bad.
Why? What's happened?
What, the stream is dropping frames. It's now to bad.
What? How long have you been streaming? When did you start?
3 hours. But look, it's just dropping frames all over the shop.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not on the computer even. I'm not
No, it's my
streaming.
computer that's dropping frames.
Does it need a restart? Like a typical Windows computer? That's what this one did. This one just stopped working and it needed an update. Has yours done its update? This one just like, Windows just stops working. Doesn't give you a warning. It's just like something's wrong. So you're like, oh, you need
OBS reconnection successful.
There you go.
Disconnected. That was 15 minutes ago.
Oh. So it didn't do it properly?
I have no idea why that happened. But now it's back to good. I just pressed stop and restart. Sorry for that, guys. I don't know what exactly went wrong then. But it just kind of cacked the bed. Oh no, it's dropping frames all over the place again. What the heck? Okay, it's dropped 37 frames and it's still good. We're still good. As long as we're still good, we're good. All right. Okay. It says we're good. Let's just keep pretending that we're good. All right. I need a base here that I'm just going to use as a pretend base. And I'm going to use my Rotten Clipe. Alrighty. Now all I'm going to do is pop in the first 4 switches. And what I want to do here, I just want to choose the first 4 corners that I'm going to use. Just give me 1 second. Let's do that one. And again, I have the luxury of knowing this because I've built so many of these keyboards, but you want to do the outside one. Maybe I shouldn't have done this before I did it in there. And you want to do the outside one here in this corner, and you want to do the outside one on the other corner as well. This one goes all the way down. You slide it all the way left. Or all the way right, rather. Yeah, now I'm trying to pick it up by things that I've lubricated. That's not smart. All right. Okay, you're right. I don't need this to start. Okay, that's the first one, and that is in. I'm just going to put this over to the side here. No, I've gone bad again. No, at least I know what it was. It was my chat window. My chat window froze. BM McWirt, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I had a little problem then with some... I don't know if it's still in a real bad way here. No, it says it's back to good. 2195. Let's see what happens. No, it's dropping. Okay, well, I know the cause. It is the chat window. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this. Just a minute, guys. I'll be with you in just a minute. It's Chrome that caused it, which is weird. Like, did you know that Chrome could cause these sorts of problems?
No.
This is the problem with using Windows. Is I have no idea what it's doing. I have no idea what's causing this. Okay, well, I'm going to end the stream there, do a restart and get back on.